Okay, welcome to the Bensalem Township Council meeting for March 10th. We're going to open up the meeting with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have this evening with us, the mayor's unable to make it. He had a matter that came up at the last minute. We have Phil Worster, our engineer. We have Debbie, our secretary, McBreen. We have Michelle Benitez as our councilwoman. We have Joe Polari, Mr. Joe Polari, our councilman. And we have Stacy Champion, our councilwoman, and Ed Kisselback, councilman and vice president. And then Ms. Benitez is our secretary. Sorry about that. And we have Joe Pizzo, our solicitor. We have public comment on any agenda items. You can come up when the individual agenda item is handled, and there's public comment at the end also, but this has to be on an individual agenda item. Seeing no one come forward, we'll close public comment on agenda items. Approval of council minutes for the meeting February 10th, 2025. Has anybody
Make a motion
got
to...
any changes? Anybody got any changes? Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Benitez to accept the minutes?
Yes.
Is there a second? Okay, Mr. Kisselback, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Okay.
Abstain.
Abstain? Mr. Polari abstained, so it's 4-0-1. Okay. Consider, number 5 on the agenda, consider a resolution for a Sewage Facilities Act plan for the land event identified as 700 Bristol Pike. I think we had to redo this or something, Joe, but you got this, Mr. Pizzo?
I do, and you are correct, Mr. Knowles. Council previously approved this Act 537 resolution. There was apparently a hiccup in the timing that the township approved it as compared to when Bucks County Water and Sewer approved it, and so DEP has requested the council reapprove it so that things are happening in the right sequence. It is in a form acceptable for your consideration and approval this evening.
Okay, is there any questions about this? Okay, we handled this is the one in Andalusia, I think, at the old drive-in site.
That's correct.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the sewer?
I'll put a motion in to approve the Act 537 processing form adjustment for tax parcel 020230017 700 Bristol Pike.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye, any against? Okay, that's approved. All right, number 6, consideration and signing of the agreements for Astava Mayaka Hotels LLC. Pretty close.
Trust me, I can't say full names.
4700 East Street Road, the hotel. Joe, and this is something that's been approved. We're just signing the builder's agreement. I mean the development agreements.
You are correct. This is a project, a land development that council approved back in 2021. It involves the former hotel on 4700 Street Road across from Toscana. I forget what it was in its last iteration, but in any event, the site is going to be redeveloped still as a hotel site. The development agreements for the project, as well as the stormwater agreements, were prepared by my office. They have been signed by the developer, the necessary monies have been posted, and everything is in a form acceptable for your execution and consideration this evening.
Okay, well, that's good news. It's moving forward finally. Okay, is there any questions about this, or does someone want to put a motion that we approve? We approve A and B, Joe? Is that what we do here?
Yes, you can approve them both in one motion, Mr. Knowles.
Okay, does anybody want to put a motion that we're approving land development and the stormwater best management practice operation for this project?
Make a motion to approve agreements for Ashtabanaca Hotels LLC located at 4700 East Street Road, tax parcel 02003004, 02003007-004. Items A, land development improvement agreement, and B, stormwater best management practices, operations, and maintenance agreement presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Okay, so that passes. Okay. Number 7. That's the stormwater one, okay. Okay, number 7 is the tree vote. This is a consideration of a land development extension agreement for Trevo Senior Residence, 4695 Somerton Road. I guess they want an addition of a year. Joe, has this been, Mr. President, or I guess our engineer would know. Phil, has this been started at all, or is this, do you know, Phil?
The land development,
The project itself?
I believe the project is underway.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, yeah, okay, so, yeah, okay.
And you can see it being built, so I think.
Yeah, I thought it was, I didn't know that they, but, you know, they'll probably be done before a year. Okay, so, does anybody have any questions about this? It looks like they're on their way. It's for senior housing at 4695 Somerton Road. If there's no questions about this, does anybody want to put a motion forward?
I'll put a motion on the floor, that we approve it,
Okay,
the extension agreement.
is there a second on the motion?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay, so that's good. Okay, number 8 on the agenda. Requests, a couple of these are waivers of curbs and sidewalks next. The first one is a waiver, a request for a waiver of curbs and sidewalks with its payment in lieu of, okay, which will be determined by our engineer, I guess, for Frank's Sandusky, Ogden Avenue, tax parcel 02062-076. Okay, Sandusky, I'm sorry. Sandusky, that's right. Is there any questions about this? You have this, Phil?
yes, Mr. President. This one is for $1,100 for a waiver of the sidewalk. There's no sidewalks or anything like that around it, curbing, anything associated with that on Ogden Avenue.
Yep.
And so we're recommending that this is approved, it's a permit approved for $1,100 for the sidewalk.
But they will install the curbs?
There's no curbs out there.
Oh, because it's
There's-
confusing because it says on here,
Curbs and sidewalks.
there are, and for this address, I find that there are existing curbs, but no sidewalks from Quentin.
Well, they're asking for a waiver of curbs and sidewalks.
I don't recall the curbs out there, I'm sorry, but
Do we-
I will, I'm going to take Quentin at his word for it with regard to that, and this is subject to a finance approval anyway, so I'll make
So it'll
sure
be
of that.
determined if there's a waiver of curbs, even a portion of the curbs are going to have to
Yeah, this-
pay in lieu of.
Yeah, I didn't think there was even curbs out there.
I don't think there is either. I don't,
The second sentence of the memo says there are no curbs or sidewalks in the vicinity of the parcel.
Now, in the second part, there are no existing curbs. There are existing curbs, but no sidewalks on that second row. I was doing the same thing, that's why I read.
okay, well, it's probably incorrect, I would think, because I don't think there is curbs there. It's not a corner property, is it?
It is.
Well, sometimes they have curbs around the sewer.
Yeah, there are curbs.
No, it's just around the sewer outlet, like they
I'm
have
looking at it, there are
curbs on the
curbs there
corner.
on one side. The other side doesn't have it, but one side has it.
Yeah, right
Well,
there.
then this holds
We
true.
may have already put the curb in, if it's at the sewer, if that's where it's at.
So the 1,100 would be for the sidewalk waiver, as stated in the second paragraph. Requirement, recommend council consider waiving the requirement for sidewalk installation for this address along Ogden, 50 linear feet.
Okay, so
paying fee in lieu
let's
of
change that
1,100 for
to a
sidewalk.
waiver of only sidewalks, subject to fee in lieu of, and if they have a problem with it, they can come back if they don't have curbs. But,
They may already have been installed, the curbs, and we
yeah, I
just
think
have
it
to
looks
go
like they
through.
were.
Well, yeah, seems
Yeah,
so.
the letter says exactly what you just said, Joe.
Okay,
It says exactly what you just said.
okay, so we're gonna make number 8. That's fine, right, Joe, isn't it, Mr. Pizzo? We're just gonna make it for the sidewalks?
Yes. Although the agenda says waiver of curbs and sidewalks, the request, I believe, is just a sidewalk waiver.
Okay.
So that's all you'll be waiving.
Okay, so we're gonna have a request for the sidewalk, waiver of the sidewalk installation, payment in lieu of for the sidewalks only for Ogden Avenue. Okay, someone want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to amend agenda item 8 to request a waiver of sidewalk installation, subject to the payment of the fee in lieu of 1,100 as presented for tax parcel 02062076.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Polari actually beat the Miss Champion that time. Okay, and then, is there, so everybody, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so everybody, so I thought so, but I didn't hear some people. Okay, so, that passes also. Okay, now, number 9 on Buttonwood, request for a waiver and curbs and sidewalks, installation subject to payment in lieu of for 1030 Buttonwood Avenue for Robert Snyder, 02029-099. Do you have this one, Mr. Bill?
Same thing, but this is for curbs and sidewalks. Again, I must have missed the last one. I was out there today for the Buttonwood one, and there's no curbs and sidewalks out there.
Yeah.
Verifying that, so this would be a fee in lieu of, in the amount of $3,685 for the curb and sidewalk waiver.
Okay, and then, if there's no questions, does anybody want to put a motion to approve that?
I'll put that forward in motion.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
okay, all in favor? Aye, any against? Okay, thanks. What's this, show someone else's?
Yeah, sign that.
Thank you. Okay, next is a consideration of some escrow releases. We have 2 escrow releases for the same property, so we can do these together, Joe, I would think.
Sure.
Okay, so we have, A is TIC Associates Phase 1, release number 2 for 4626 Somerton, tax 02003-002 for $97,094. And then number 2 is a release for Phase 2 for the same address and same tax parcel for $1,252,120.75. Do you have that?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This is the Petrucci warehouse that is built
Okay.
on Somerton Road. And it is, these have been in the works back and forth with a long time coming due to the council meeting changes and things like that. So there's the 2 escrows. One is for over $1 million, the other one's for $97,000. And we recommend that you approve both of these. It leaves, for Phase 2, $379,000 and change left over, and for Phase 1, it leaves $93,000 and change left.
Okay, and I guess that's enough to cover
Yes,
what's left?
yes.
Okay, and that's the only phases there are, is 1 and 2, right?
Yes, sir.
I assume, okay. Okay, so is there any other questions in reference to this escrow release? If not, does someone want to make a motion to approve A and B?
I'll make the motion to approve escrow release number 2 for Phase 1 in the amount of $97,094 to be approved by the Finance Department and audited. And then also for release number 2 for Phase 2 in the amount of $1,252,120.75 to be audited and approved by the Finance Department for the actual dollar amount.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public comment, does anybody have any? Oh, second, I'm sorry, is there a second on the?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Question, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay.
The agenda notes the amount of 1.25 million, and the escrow release notes 805,000.
This release is.
I just want to make sure our numbers
back paperwork.
are
Hold on a second.
good there.
No, this one has the 1,252,000
So the total escrow, okay,
in the red.
It's the red one, sir.
I'm sorry, my apologies, I'm on track. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Okay,
sorry.
that's all right.
Can we get out of here?
So we had a first and a second, we had a vote. Did you vote yes? Because I just didn't.
I vote yes.
Okay, all right, so we had a second, right?
Mr. Kisselback.
Mr. Kisselback, and then we voted unanimously, 4-0, 5-0. Okay? Okay, so public comment, do you have anybody, you have to come up here for public comment? Just let us know who you are and then what question you have.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Robert Foley. I live at Salem Manor, 55 and over development on Gibson Road.
Okay,
The question I have for anybody that might be able to answer it or have some type of information was that we know that Toll Brothers is trying to develop the land right behind our property on Gibson Road.
okay, are you in a retirement community?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So the development has 122 units, which 30 of them face the empty property behind, which is attached to Resurrection
Right.
Cemetery. So our management company, which is Continental Management, and our HOA have already been contacted by Toll Brothers. They requested to use our property to enter that, to develop with the heavy equipment that they have. They were told no. So we as residents have no information as to what's going to happen with that property or whatnot, or when they're going to plan on developing it. So I'm here to find out if anybody has any other information about that property.
Well, there's nothing been formally presented to us yet, but they were talking about developing the property. And from the preliminary meetings that I was in with the, couple, the 221 meetings, executive style, that they were considering developing it. Now, we've been working with them and trying to get the number, what may or may not be possible to put there. I think what you're talking about, and I could be wrong, but I think they, as an option, they wanted to see if they could use your exit to your development, not for equipment, but for a permanent exit to slide in on your entrance and exit, and then pay you guys for it, instead of putting their own, because it would be safer not to have, or better to have one thing. And they felt that if they negotiated with you guys, that they would be able to work that out with you, but that's up to your association, whether you
Right.
let them do that or not.
Right, so what our HOA was telling us that they were requesting to use our entrance and build another driveway into that property back there. Not to use it, not once it was developed, to use our street.
No, I don't think, well, let Mr. Pizzo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, Joe.
okay, go ahead,
Good.
go ahead.
So, I mean, that's what we heard. Now, our HOA was telling us that.
Yes, so as Mr. Knoll said, there have been no formal submissions to the township. The township is aware that Toll is negotiating with Resurrection Cemetery in the Archdiocese to buy that corner of the property.
Right.
To my knowledge, nothing's been signed, nothing's been approved, nothing's been anything. Toll is doing its due diligence to figure out if that site is viable, and I assume one of the things that they've done in that capacity is speak to your HOA to see if they can make something work there. But at this point in time, there's nothing into the township, and they've come and let us know that they're in the process of attempting to buy the site. But if anything's going to happen, we're a ways away from anything formal coming to the township for us to be able to tell you anything concrete.
Okay, because what we've also seen too is they had surveyors and land people inside of Resurrection Cemetery. What it looks like, when you go in through the entrance, right to the left, they surveyed that whole front fence line at about 20 feet wide with stakes that make the right going down along the inside of the property, like it looks like they're going over that way.
Again, it's all part of the due diligence that Toll's doing. You know, when you're going to buy, when a developer's going to buy a piece of ground of that size for the potential of building something on it, first thing they're going to do is sign an agreement, and then they're going to see if they can use the land the way they're proposed. So it's not uncommon to have engineers go out. It's not uncommon for them to talk to the township. It's not uncommon to talk to neighboring property owners such as your HOA. But all of that is part of a process for Toll to figure out if it can do something on that site.
Would that include, like, putting a property line up? Because on the back end of ours, we have sewer outlets and things like that on that side, which would kind of abut what they're planning on doing.
That could be Toll, that could be the Archdiocese. It's not uncommon, again, if I'm going to sell a portion of a piece of land I own, I'm going to have surveyors go out and determine the metes and bounds for the portion of the property that I might be selling. So it could be the Archdiocese doing that as part of their efforts to market the property.
Okay. One last question, if I don't mind. Would Bristol Town or Bensalem Township have something to do with determining how the traffic pattern would be if they do develop that?
Ultimately, yes. Ultimately, the township and PennDOT, since the roads that border the property are both state highways, both PennDOT and the township would have a say in where entrances for anything that might be built on there, if anything ever is built on there, and that would be true of any other piece of property in the township. Township and PennDOT, when a state road is involved, you have to get what's called a highway occupancy permit, and there's a review process by PennDOT and by the township to determine what the egress and exits from a piece of property might be, depending on what the proposed use is.
Your involvement and the neighbor's involvement will be just as important as the developer as they come before us when we make our decision. So you'll be here when we go through the process, and it won't be a one-night process. It will be, I'm assuming it will be several nights that will be being made presentations to us in terms of different things and different concerns that you and your neighborhood will have. You'll probably have a homeowners association come before us also, and individuals and such, but your input is just as important, believe me, as the developers when they come before us in terms of what you want and how we can accommodate everyone to make this a project that's reasonable and good for everyone.
Right, because we know how busy Humaville and Gibson Road are already. I mean, the traffic is crazy now.
Well, if there's any good things, when they had initially come to us, they were talking about townhouses, and now they're talking about individual, beautiful million-dollar homes going up there. So it's only going to be good for everyone.
Yeah, because we originally heard they were going to try to put 70 on there. That's what we heard.
Well, Mr. Foley, I can tell you again, it's no secret that the Archdiocese is marketing that property.
Yeah, I get it.
And as is true of any property owner in the township,
Yeah.
somebody owns a piece of property or is thinking of buying a piece of property.
Right.
They come to the township and say, hey, if we wanted to try and do this, the township works with them to say, well, here's what works, here's what doesn't work, here's what the zoning allows, here's what the zoning doesn't allow. You'd have to go to the zoning hearing board. So it's all part of a process, and a lengthy process. So again, the Archdiocese is marketing that corner, and so it's at this point, it would appear that Toll Brothers is at the moment the potential suitor. But as I said, nothing's been submitted to the township to build anything.
Okay.
There have been some inquiries. They've let us know what they're thinking about doing, but it's on them to figure out what they can or can't do.
Okay. Yeah, because they're already developing All Saints Cemetery up in Newtown. That's why I'm like, okay, well, if they're doing that now, how close is it to this?
What are they putting there?
I was told they were leaving that alone up there. I didn't know that.
They've already cleared the land. I just went by there this weekend. They cleared the land, and they sold like Twining Bridge Road on Durham all the way down to basically the entrance of All Saints Cemetery.
Yeah, well, I hate to call it business, but that kind of thing has changed in recent, because we actually at one time approved that whole area to extend the cemetery and stuff, and they had named the roads and everything,
Right.
but now I don't know.
I get it. I just want to try to get ahead of it, and people were asking me. I said, well, I'll go,
Yeah.
I'll go find
Well,
out,
you'll-
see if I can ask some questions.
There'll be public notice, and you, as an adjacent homeowner, you might even get a notice in the mail, you know?
Okay.
But
All right.
we'll make sure that everybody's aware, and we'll have public hearings about
Okay,
it.
I
And
appreciate it. Thank you.
Maybe your homeowners association tries to do something with them to talk about your concerns.
Right, so what I'm...
We've had
yeah,
developers do that.
That's my next stop, tomorrow, so I'm going to tell them that I was here tonight and what you said, so,
Yeah, if you can intercede and talk to them prior to them coming to us, you can negotiate some type of a cooperative deal
Right.
that would be beneficial, and it's something that it would be good for them too,
sure.
to know what you want.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It always helps if the neighbors.
Right, because it was,
From
I
the
mean,
developer's
that was one of
perspective.
the reasons I bought in there in the first place, was because of how wooded it looked and, how kind of, off the beaten path it looked. Well, it won't look that way if you got a giant white privacy fence and McMansions, that I'm looking at right outside my house, so it's just, to the extent
we don't know
The
yet,
trend,
so-
the trend in the 21st century is toward cremation from traditional burials, and it's towards mausoleums rather than
So they don't need the
interring
ground.
people in the ground. So the Archdiocese has made us aware that, a lot of the land that they currently have for cemeteries,
They
they
don't need.
feel they don't need anymore.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
out.
My turn?
Yep, your turn. You just say who you are, sir, and then we'll,
How you doing? My name is Ralph Bianco, 1792 Gibson Road.
okay.
I wore the shirt purposely for the mayor, but he's not here. so-
Oh, the North Catholic shirt? Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
You would've liked it.
He was a year after me. But anyway, we got a problem with traffic up here, as you know. Now, are you going to tell me there is no way that Toll Brothers is going to be able to access Unionville Road or Gibson Road for their development?
No, we don't know that, but they're
Well-
both PennDOT roads.
Well, it
So they
should
would
be
have to
part
have-
of the zoning.
Mr. Bianco, if, for a hypothetical, if somebody buys that piece of land from the Archdiocese to build something on it, they have a right to enter and exit the property onto the state highways. So the state will make the determination in concert with the township where driveways would be or roads would be located. So if you own a piece of land, the state can't tell you you cannot access it at all, but it will tell you where you can, at what points you can or cannot access it. So again, taking a hypothetical of the Archdiocese selling that corner of the land to someone to build something, they will have a right to enter and exit off of either Gibson, Huonville, or both.
So there's nothing that the township could do to stop him from entering either because of the traffic problems? Is that what you're saying?
Can I ask a question? What's specifically the concern? Is it sharing the entryway for your HOA?
No.
I
Or
worked for the
just
city
in
for
general?
37 years. I was a surveyor for 37 years. And where these properties or where the development of properties, first it's zoning. Now, I guess the zoning is all right with there. They changed it from a cemetery, they sold it to somebody, I don't know who it was, I guess it was Toll Brothers, and now it's for houses.
Mr. Bianco, again, maybe you didn't hear what we were saying with Mr. Foley. You're 3 steps down the board that may or may not ever happen. In answer to your question, if I own a piece of land anywhere in Bensalem and I need to get access to it, I'm allowed to get access to it. The state can tell me where, but they can't tell me, no, I can't have a driveway at all. So that's the question of yours that I'm answering.
Well,
As to whether, if someone were to buy that corner for any reason,
Yes.
they would be allowed to come in and out off of the roads somewhere. But PennDOT will decide where.
So we're hearing all different kind of rumors that that the township would not let them access Gibson Road or.
Well, again, you're hearing rumors, and rumors are very bad to trade in, and I'm trying to stop rumors by telling you at the moment, there are no applications to the township to do anything on that property. We are aware that the Archdiocese is selling, has that property for sale. We are aware that Toll Brothers is interested in buying it and has been talking to your homeowners association apparently, to the township, and we assume others, to see what it is that they would be able to build. But I don't know that any formal decisions have been made. I don't believe the property has actually been sold. Nothing has been submitted to the township to build anything. So rumors are bad to trade in. And you probably should go back to your homeowners association and find out exactly what it is that Toll Brothers said to them and what the status of things are between the Archdiocese, Toll Brothers, and your homeowners association.
Well, evidently, somebody is paying the surveyors out there because they're working out there, they're staking out, they're showing where the streets are going. So somebody is paying them. So there is an agreement with somebody. And I think it should be with the township. That's where it should be to
Well,
find
now,
out
if you
before
have-
they start
okay,
all
okay,
this.
sir, listen, if you make a preliminary agreement with someone that you're considering buying their property, okay? Then they have a due diligence period, okay? And then usually Toll Brothers would pay for it, or whoever else is interested in it. And then they would see, hey, can we make sense with this property? Can we do what we think we want to do? Can we build single houses here? Can we build this here? Can we do anything with it? So they're going to survey it, and they're going to pay for that. That doesn't mean that they're going to get it. So, but I don't think they don't have a right to go out your entrance or exit unless the homeowners association gives them that right, and that's what they're
We know
probably
that,
doing.
it's our property.
It's your
We
property,
don't
right,
have to
so
tell
they don't
them
have a
that.
right, but if they wanted to do it, they would have to make a deal with you guys and pay
I
it,
understand.
and say, hey, for this amount of money, can we do it? And if you guys would vote yes or no, you know what I mean?
Well, we refused them, so that's the end of that entrance,
Okay,
going
well,
that
that's,
way, okay?
That's the case, so then that part's
But-
done.
The surveyors are working every day out there, so they're laying something out.
Well, we're not
And you
denying
don't
that
lay
Toll Brothers is
something
looking-
out unless you
Toll
have
Brothers
the
is
pla-
looking at the property, so they're having.
unless you have the plans drawn up. You can't just tell them, oh, I want to put a road here. You've got to have the plans. You the engineer here?
I am, sir.
Uh,
I am.
You are? No Pete Nacarata?
I do.
Okay, I'm a good friend of his, okay? So he must have the plans, what they want to do. I'm not saying I could stop him from going where you people have to
Our
be able to
plan has
stop
not,
him.
there's no plan, but just hold, Mr. Pizzo, there's no plan that's been submitted to us of what they want to do. So we don't know exactly what they want to do.
A surveyor doesn't work without plans, believe me.
Okay, well, they are surveying.
I was at,
Let-
37 years as
I-
a surveyor.
well,
You
let-
cannot work without
Well, you can
plans.
talk engineer talk with our
Yeah,
engineer.
sir, if there's surveyors out there, they were either hired by, as Mr. Pizzo said, the Archdiocese or Toll Brothers. And to the plans that they might have, we don't know. The township has not
Okay,
received any.
that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I was asking them, if they had the plans of what's going on over there. They say, no.
The
Surveyors
township-
are flying.
The township doesn't. I
Excuse
know
me.
Township
that.
doesn't.
Excuse,
Yeah.
can I ask one
Surveyor
question?
never fly
Mr. Worsta
blind.
or Mr. Pizzo, does the township have to be made aware of when
First of all, I
anybody?
gotta ask you to
Excuse-
talk louder, because I got hearing aids and sometimes,
Sure.
that's why I moved
So
over
Mr.
there.
Worsta or Mr. Pizzo, does the township have to be made aware when anybody's having their property surveyed?
No.
No.
And in many cases, surveyors will come out for any number of things. If you're putting a fence up in the township, we typically ask for a survey, that the property be surveyed before a fence is put up, to make sure that the fence is being put on the property line.
And the-
If you're going to subdivide property, it's not uncommon, you would have a surveyor go out and do the meets and bounds markings of where the survey of the property, so that you can make up the subdivision plan. So, again, the surveyor is certainly out there. Again, the Archdiocese is selling the property. It's not unusual, it's not a surprise that there are surveyors out on the property, because the Archdiocese is in the process of selling the property. So it's either Toll Brothers, who at the moment appears to be a potential buyer, or it's the Archdiocese doing whatever it is they're doing that requires a survey so that they can sell it. They don't need to come to us to get a permit or a license to go survey their own land, but they are surveying it. And again, it's not surprising to us because we know it's for sale.
They're surveying for roads out there, and you don't do it, you can't do it without plans. So there are some plans out there. I don't know if they submitted to you guys or your people,
No,
the council people or not.
No.
There are no plans submitted to the township. However, Toll Brothers may have their conceptual plan of what they think they would like to do, and therefore they're
understand.
moving along with that presumption that this is what they would like to do. Whether it's feasible or not, we don't know that because we have nothing in front of us.
You could do that just off the plans. You don't need, you don't need field work to do that.
But we cannot approve anything or do anything until they complete all of that work,
And they submit something.
and they submit something. So nothing has been formally submitted with full plans for us to review for any potential thing they may be thinking of or trying to draw out as a result of all the survey work that you all are seeing.
And then we'll have public hearings after we get notice.
But it is Toll Brothers, and Toll Brothers builds houses. So, that they're out there doing due diligence for the purpose of
Right.
building houses. That's what Toll Brothers does.
You may be 100% right in terms of what you're saying, and you probably are, because that's what they're doing. But we know probably as much, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less than what you know, based on you living there and seeing the actual activity, what's happening, plus your knowledge of your experience in life being a surveyor and things like that. But as far as the township itself, we have no formal plans whatsoever to present to anyone because they never presented them to us. But I'm sure they have something that they're working on the surveys and saying, well, we think this may work for us. This is see how this pans out. They may do the surveys, as you just said, and say, well, it's not going to work at all.
I know I've done enough surveying to know sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But we're trying to find out what they were actually doing. And again, I work for the city. The first thing you do is put a plot plan out there to get the approval of that's the first step. Putting the curb in, that's the last step. I don't have to tell him, you're paving the street, but everything else is in there. So
The only thing we can
would
tell you
like
is
to
that
be
they came to
informed.
us and they mentioned that they want to do townhouses, and we said, absolutely not. They want to put townhouses there, we said, no, that area is too pristine, and the neighbors and such, we don't think would approve that, and so we just said, absolutely not. So from that point, at this point, I assume, I'll speak for myself, that they're looking to do the townhouses.
The single homes.
I'm sorry, the single homes, thank you, the single homes, which is what we said, that we would look at that a little more friendlier than we would townhouse, because we don't, you don't live in a townhouse.
We used to
do
call
you?
them row
They-
houses in Philly. That's
Yeah.
what they
You-
call them.
Single
Sale
home,
matters.
a
Sale
single
matters.
home to you, it would be,
Okay, thank you for my
You'll be a
time,
plus.
and I'm not whatchamacallit, but we hear so many rumors back there. We got 120, what is it, 120 people. Everybody has, they're coming through here, they're coming through there, they're going to do this, they're going to come through the cemetery, make a left and go down along parallel to Unionville Road, and then do the building over there. Now, that might be good for the construction thing, but how about the people when they're built? Are they going to be able to do the same thing?
well, you'll be up here when they.
Well, you'll be up here, you'll be able to come to a public hearing, you'll see the plans.
Please
And we
continue
can-
to participate.
Before we vote on it, you
Okay.
can give us your opinion, and your neighbors can give us their opinion. Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming out,
We appreciate you coming. I think we have one more person who'd like to speak.
I guess, man. Yep.
Hi. Hi. Paul Barnes.
Take care.
Hey, I'm a judge guy, and I heard the North Catholic.
Falcons.
You could tell them this too. He might be a year younger than me, but he was a year behind me in school.
I went to Father Judge, and I heard that North Catholic, before they closed, I heard that North Catholic was going to go co-ed, is that right?
because they'll come at 55, 56.
I heard that North Catholic was going to go co-ed before they close up, is that right? They're going to start accepting guys.
That's what you, oh, man, what you,
I'm a Father Judge guy.
okay, thank you. Thank you. Shot. Jesus. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, hi. My
Okay,
name's,
sir, we have another guy coming up here. We need, okay, let's do. Okay, you want to go, we can start talking to you.
my name's Paul Barnes. Address is 4948 Hillside, Bensalem. I've spoken with Mr. Knowles about this on the phone a couple of weeks back, so that may be repetitive for him, but so I'm here to talk about something that's just, the best way I can describe it is it's like super weird, really, really weird. And never experienced anything like it. I'm going to apologize in advance because what I'm going to talk about, one of the effects of it is it really, really scrambles your brain. And you just can't think right. And I am experiencing that, whatever you want to call it, symptom. So it's really hard for me right now to be organized and concise. I've been before council probably 10 times in 30 years here, and I know what council wants. They want fast, accurate, make your point, answer questions, go. And I understand that. I'm telling you right now, I can't do that.
Well,
Can't
did
do that to them.
they, just your question, because I did speak with you. I put a letter in, an email in writing to the mayor's office, who also notified our zoning and planning, our public safety people. So did anybody contact you in reference to trying to resolve this? Because I was told that's.
Yes, but I don't know if the rest of the council knows what I'm talking about, so should I do that first?
You can do it if you want, but I don't think they're going to be able to help you tonight, okay? So, but you.
Well, I'm going to do
you
that
wanna
first
do
then,
it?
because just so people know what we're talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
But a short answer is yes, and I'll get back to you on it.
Well, you have a right to say whatever you want, but
Well, I don't want to blow you off, but I'm just saying,
What's
like,
your name, sir? What's your name?
Paul
Paul?
Barnes, Barnes.
Thank you, Paul.
So this started 2 days before Thanksgiving, so like 90-some days ago. I was going to bed. I'm a single-family home, 3/4 acre ground. It's pretty quiet, you know, just average going to bed day, right? So I set my alarm, I kick the lights and hop into bed, and end of the day, and quiet. Except it wasn't quiet. There was this noise in my house. Never heard anything like it. It's fairly quiet. It's extremely low frequency. So frequency is the tone. So like if you have a piano, ding, 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 the high notes, that's high frequency. Low notes is the low frequency. It's extremely low. Right on the edge, and probably a little bit below what human beings can hear. And I didn't know what was going on, and it's intensely irritating. And I didn't know. I walked around my house. I didn't know. Went down my basement. I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was everywhere. Eventually, I pulled all the breakers in my house to knock all the electricity down. Did I leave something on, or had no effect? The next day, I went to my neighbor's house, and it was over there. I went to another neighbor's house, and he can hear it. Went to another neighbor's house. He has hearing aids. He can't hear it, but he can feel it. And I had occasion to go to another house 3 doors down, and I can hear it down there. However, if I go somewhere else, like not in my Bensalem area, there's no noise. It's not me. It's in our community is what it is.
Let me ask you something, okay? 'Cause I appreciate you. I talked to you for about a half hour about this, okay? So so you're hearing low frequency noise, okay?
Yeah, it's called LFN, low frequency noise.
Right, okay.
It's
so-
a thing, yeah.
So the administration said that our public safety director and our zoning our zoning planning board was trying to help you with this to see, and they've already determined it's not coming, that they know, from an outside source. Did anybody come to your house?
It is coming from an outside
No,
source, I can assure you of
Did someone
that.
come to your house?
I had 2 guys from the township come to my house.
Okay, so they came to your house. What
Well,
happened?
Let me just finish. I'm telling you, if you're gonna try to cut me off, there's only one thing that's gonna
Well, I
happen.
can't let you, there is a limit to how much you can talk, okay? So
I understand that, but you're not,
you're starting from the beginning, and it's a long story.
Well, let me just say something here, okay? You've wasted a tremendous amount of my time. And you've done that because I have twice prepared, practiced, refined what I wanted to say here, and twice you canceled the meetings. So this is my third time that I've spent time at my home organizing, compacting, making this condensed as
Okay,
I
well,
can.
get to your point, how
And
we
you're-
can-
and now you're wasting my time
How can we
again,
help
because you're
you?
not letting me talk.
Well, okay.
So like, I don't know
No,
what you're
I don't
doing.
have to, I don't have to.
You know, I just want to get my point out, and then
Okay.
I'll answer your questions. I'll be glad to answer your questions. And I've worked really hard to make this as condensed as I can, so I don't
Okay,
take your time.
continue, okay,
I'm
continue.
also say this, like I said, it scrambles your brain. Every time you interrupt me, it's just going to take me longer to do it, because I got to get back to it
Well,
again.
it's not gonna,
So
it's
don't
not
do
gonna
that.
take you too long, because
Let
at
me
some
just get
point.
through it, and I'll be done, and then you can ask whatever questions you got.
All right, go ahead.
So, two guys came from the township, and neither one of them knew what I was talking about. Okay. I never heard of this before it started to happen. So if I interact with somebody in this, I give them a lot of slack because I didn't know anything about it. They didn't know anything about it. They were very nice, and they listened to what I had to say, and they said, okay, well, we have to go find out about this because we don't know about this. And they did. It is a thing, by the way. It's all over the country. It's called low-frequency noise. It's abbreviated LFN. It's making people crazy in their communities all over the United States. Go to YouTube. There's a couple hundreds of videos there you can watch people talking about it, news stations interviewing people about it, etc. Just in short, it has a tremendous amount of physiological effects. You cannot sleep through it. I haven't had a good sleep in 90 days. Really ruining my life. It makes you nauseous, makes you dizzy, makes you unable to process information very well. It's really hard to do that. Really hard to think. Makes you dizzy. I've been walking through my living room and just fell over. My living room where I've lived my whole life. So the two guys from the township came, and then they said they were going to think about it, okay. And then I got a call from Building and Planning that two other people were going to come, which they did. It was another member of the township. He didn't know anything about it. He was looking up stuff on his phone while he was talking to me, going, oh, I didn't know about this. And there was another guy who was supposed to be, I guess, some kind of audio person. He brought a laptop. He brought a microphone that's about that big. Compared to this microphone, it's that big. And he put it on my kitchen table, and he went, and he looked at his thing. He's like, I don't see anything. So we went to my bedroom where it's also prevalent, did it in there, I don't see anything. And that was it. Now, I am a novice about this stuff, but even I know that that little microphone's not going to find it. And I know that when the township guy asked the audio guy, so what are you doing there with the laptop? And he said, well, I'm narrowing down the frequency range from 0 to 3,000. Even I know that you're never going to find it unless you go from 0 to 100. Also, it's not a thing where you just kick on the computer and then like, oh, yeah, there's a spike there, there's a frequency. Like if you go and look on YouTube, there's many videos about this. It takes people a good 20 minutes to find it, locate it, isolate it, amplify it, so you can see it. A really great video there was a guy who shows you all the noise in his town at 0 to 100 hertz. It's a frequency, right? And he shows how he picks out a section where there's nothing. There's nothing on the screen. You can see other things going, nothing. And he puts it in a loop, so it just keeps playing in a loop. And then he jacks the volume, and he brings up the equalizer, so it highlights that frequency, and it's like, there's all this noise. You would have heard it if you hadn't known what you were doing. And I don't think the guy who came knew what he was doing, because when I was talking to him, I met him at the street because I was shoveling my driveway. And as we're walking up my driveway, I'm talking to him about what I'm experiencing, the noise and all this. And he's looking at me, the audio guy's looking at me like, yeah, Never heard of this. I didn't say that, but you can pick up on a vibe when you're talking to somebody and they don't know what you're talking about.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you want council to do about this?
This is a community issue.
This is an administration issue, not a council
No,
issue.
well, here's what I want.
It's not a council
I'll take
issue, it's an administration issue.
two different
Have you
things.
talked to the mayor about it?
No.
That's who you should talk
I
to.
tried to talk to the mayor.
It's his administration, they're responsible for this, not for council. This isn't
Well,
council's.
who would approve somebody of skill coming out and?
The mayor.
The mayor, the
The mayor's
administration. So you're talking to us who can do nothing about what you want. So
Okay,
what
so
I'm
when
saying.
well,
Well, I put your complaint in writing to the mayor's office, and they
So-
responded to it, and now, and.
so you talked to the mayor and
I
through a
did-
letter.
I talked to you.
I mean,
okay?
what you're saying is you made the mayor aware, is what I'm saying.
And he said he was already aware of it, and they've been trying to deal with this for a long time.
How
And
long?
they've been trying to help you, and there's nothing they can figure out that it is. So you requested that someone come inside your house and see if they could detect the sound, and they can't detect the sound.
Well, that guy didn't know what he was doing.
Okay, well,
I
okay.
know that.
So,
As an amateur, I even know
now
that.
you're saying it's a community problem, but none of your neighbors have put in complaints about this sound.
There's
Nobody-
two reasons for that.
No one in the neighborhood. Well, whatever, it doesn't.
Well, there's two reasons for
Well, it's not a
that.
community problem then.
One of the reasons is that only 2% of the population can hear it.
Okay, well.
So how many people in my neighborhood? I know of 2 already in my neighborhood who are aware of it. That's
Okay.
an incredible amount. And I did another thing. I went to a website, which I never knew about this website. It's called nextdoor.com. It's like a community gathering place, kind of, and it's very, very local. And they say, like you get on there and you're like, hey, I need a plumber. Anybody know a good plumber? And it's very local. I went on there and I said, is anybody hearing this noise? It's like really driving me crazy. 20 people wrote back, oh yeah, it's making me crazy. I can't stand it. Where's that coming from? Anybody know where it's coming
Okay.
from? We got to stop it. So it's not just like me and nobody else. I'm the one who's here, but it affects more people. And if you think about it, wait a minute. If it affects 2% of the population and there's 20 people who are getting back, that's 1,000 people.
You need to go to the administration. Council can do
We'll see if we
nothing
can-
about what you want done. So you need to go speak to the mayor. I'm putting it in the easiest terms that I can for you to understand.
I understand what you're saying. You don't need to put it in the easiest terms.
Council cannot do anything about it. So go see the mayor, come to the township building, call the township and ask for an appointment to meet with the mayor and his people. They're the ones that can help you with your problem, not council. It's not one of council's jobs to do. We don't
Public
have-
health is not council?
Excuse me?
Public health is not council?
It's not one of the things that we do.
You don't do-
The administration, you understand how government works,
I
right?
do, yes.
Administration does certain things.
I
and-
understand that.
And council does other things. We don't handle that part. We don't step in the mayor's business. He doesn't step into our business. They're two separate things. That's the way the government's set up. So in order to take care of your problem that you believe that you have to go to the administration. They have to handle it, not council.
Well, I'll just say this one thing. I mean, the reason I think council does do it,
We don't do it.
I understand.
I
I
just
got it.
told you. we
Crystal
don't
clear.
do
Got
it.
it.
Okay,
The re- I'm
then
just saying to you-
don't say what your reason is. We know what our responsibility is, and we're telling you, you have to go see the mayor and the administration, because they're the ones that handle your problems. They're the ones that are trained in this stuff and do this stuff, not the council.
Okay, sir, what I'll do is I'm going to request from the mayor an update on, a report on what happened with your situation, who went out, and if anybody else is going out.
Well, the
Maybe
guy-
they can report it to the county health department, maybe
you said
someone.
you were going to do that.
What's that?
You said you were going to do that.
No, I'm going to make the mayor aware that you came to council meeting and that you're not happy with the quality of the people that went out to try to detect the sound you're hearing, and we'll see whether something else can be done. The mayor's administration will see if anything else can be done. Perhaps they can contact Bucks County Health, perhaps there's federal agencies that could help you, but we cannot help you, okay? So there's nothing we can do. So if you're done, we're going to close
I
public
just have like a
comment.
quick general question. So like if somebody in Bensalem has a situation that's a public health situation, like when I came and I first started to do all this, they sent me to building and planning. Does Bensalem itself have like a health
No.
department
No.
thing?
No,
County.
county does.
Okay.
You can go to a Bucks County meeting if you want to go to
Where is that, Doylestown?
Doylestown, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay? So I appreciate you coming out. I'll check it up and see how they're doing, whether anything else can be done for you. I really don't know. Maybe you can, I don't know. Maybe get some private people maybe to help out and see if there's something with your
No,
house
it's a
that
township thing.
people
Okay.
can't dictate.
All right,
Okay?
thank you.
All right, thank you. Hillside Avenue. Okay, seeing no one else coming up, I'm going to close public comment. We have other business. Mr. Worsted, do you have other business?
No, sir.
Okay. Deb, do you have other business? Mr. Pizzo, do you have any other business?
Just wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day's coming up. It is. Also St. Joseph's Day, by the way.
And a happy St. Joseph's Day.
Yeah, the 19th.
That's all
The 19th. Ms. Benitez, do you have anything to add?
I'd like to wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Knowles,
Oh,
President
it's
Knowles.
already belated, but that's
It's
okay.
belated, but
Appreciate it.
it's within the week.
I turned 65, so I have a red, white, and blue card.
You got an
to prove it.
AARP card. No, but I wish you a happy birthday. I hope you
Too
enjoyed
cheap to
it.
join it, they charge you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and I'm looking forward to spring and longer days. Be safe and make sure to Uber.
Okay. Ms. Champion, do you have anything?
I do.
Okay.
So winter sports are over or ending. So Bensalem's kids had a pretty great year in some aspects. The high school boys won their Soul League championship again. And then Ghost went forward, and Holy Ghost Prep Ice Hockey won their thing. And then you have lots of great kids. And the girls at Bensalem, we had 3 great honorable mentions for the Soul items. So it's been a great winter season. Now we're off to spring. Track, field, right? Softball, baseball, and I can't wait till the Phillies start.
Archbishop Ryan is
27th.
playing Bensalem on the 10th at 3:45.
For
Baseball.
baseball. Okay. That'll be a good game. So that's what I wanted to say. And so it was a great season. I love hearing about the kids in sports. Great kids who go to school in our town and live in our town. We're very lucky. And happy St. Patrick's Day. Get out, see some Irish dancing in the next week. The
Yeah.
Philadelphia St. Patrick's Day Parade is on Monday or Sunday. Monday we'll be dancing a lot. That's why I'm thinking already. And I'll be walking in the parade down in Philadelphia for my daughter.
Okay, great. Okay, Mr. Player, do you have anything to add? Okay. I would add that Julie Horger, okay, whose
Oh, yes, for
whose
wrestling.
parents are Rich Tree,
Yes.
she won the state championship at 106 pounds for wrestling.
She is an
She's a
amazing
Bensalem
young
resident.
lady.
She wrestles for Commonwealth and Catholic.
Yes, thank you. I forgot that one.
Yeah, and she's very amazing.
She is a great wrestler.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yes.
So hopefully one day we'll see her in the college level and maybe even the Olympics. Who
I think
knows, you
she
know?
was very much part of Kamala Egan bringing girls wrestling there.
Yep, yep,
And I think she got it in Bensalem too.
yep,
Her parents are very active in that sport.
yep.
It's a great sport.
Okay,
Ms. Champion mentioned the Philadelphia St. Patrick's Day Parade. The Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade is Saturday, the 15th.
Yes, sorry.
okay.
Falls.
In Falls.
Usually falls. Yes, it interferes with dance outs, or we would do that one.
Okay, you guys done now? Because a couple of you went 2 or 3
Actually,
times so far.
it's
All right. so-
It's Women's Appreciation Month, too.
Well, then we
So
should
thanks to all the
appreciate
women that
Julie.
have made a difference out there and been mentors to us.
Wasn't that a
That's
few
right.
days ago?
No, it's the whole month.
The whole month?
Okay, with
You guys
that,
get a month?
we're
We don't
making-
get- What do we get?
You get us every day.
We get nothing.
A
We
motion
get-
to adjourn, that's what you get.
Yeah, I don't get to say anything, right, Joe?
Yep. You know what's funny, Joe?